If you enjoyed the video, please thumb it up and subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna go. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year and all of that good stuff. Have a wonderful day, guys. I love you all. You're in my hearts. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Tracer now has her first official comic, and it's awesome! Most of the internet got pretty swept up in the reveal of Tracer.
Victory for the Forsaken!
Let the games begin.
Magic the Gathering is a card game that's always changing. Wizards of the Coast, the company that creates Magic, makes decisions every day on where to take it, how to market it, how to keep it interesting, how to help it evolve. Basically anything you can think of, Wizards of the Coast has to do to keep Magic exciting and, most importantly, thriving. In this video, we're going to talk about what Wizards of the Coast can do in 2017 to help foster excitement and growth in Magic. Obviously, this is from the view of an outsider, but after seeing literally thousands upon thousands of comments on ways the Magic experience can be enhanced, I think as a community we've come up with a few key aspects of the game Wizards can improve upon. If you like this topic and enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like button, helps out a lot. One last thing before we get started, in no way is this an attack on Wizards employees. I know many people who work there and they care more about the game than almost anyone. So be civil in the comments. No need to talk crap about the people who have dedicated their lives to making this game fun for all of us. We're all in this for the same reason, because we love Magic. We'll begin with how to help existing players. It's no secret that Friday Night Magic attendance has been down this season. That's why standard showdown packs were a thing, that's why there's been so much focus on getting out to FNM. The flagship Magic the Gathering event is hurting, so to make it better, what should Wizards do? Give more tangible and juicy incentives. How many of you remember the Magic Player Rewards system? Promo cards were sent to players who played in enough DCI-sanctioned tournaments. It started over a decade ago with promotional tokens that were really difficult to find otherwise. Eventually the program graduated to textless and foil promos. These were designed to get players to go to tournaments, enter events, basically incentivize players to attend everything. It was discontinued back in 2010 due to the program being financially inefficient. So now when you attend events, you get a promo. A good promo? Nope. Something completely useless. Here are some of the promos printed in the last 6 months. You can't tell me that players are going to rush out of their homes and go down to FNM this coming February to win a promo Fortune's Favor. No one cares about that. And while March's Incendiary Flow is a tad bit better, why can't we have Aether Hub as an FNM promo? Or Thraben Inspector? Or Reflector Mage? How about Harness Lightning? Can you imagine how much more excited players would be to go to FNM if they knew they were fighting for
Systems online in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Access granted.
Good luck! Outstanding.
A promo Aether Hub? Come on, that's exciting as all heck. If you want to get players into the store for FNM, give them a little push, better promos. There are many companies that believe that bringing in new business is more important than keeping existing business. To be completely honest with you, both are valuable, and Wizards of the Coast needs to keep that in mind. Existing players are why they have the money to try and get new players involved, so with that in mind, 2017 needs to be a year that helps existing players. With the creation of Frontier, more products than ever, more expensive products than ever, and an increasingly anxious user base, something has to give. Cards are too expensive, products are too expensive. Plane Chase Anthology was way too expensive at MSRP. You want to help players get into Modern, but Modern Masters packs are still $10 each, and boxes are north of $200. And even when these limited print run sets do lower individual prices, sometimes it isn't enough. Tarmogoyf is still $100 a piece in a format that's supposed to be inviting for newer players who want in on a non-rotating format. Look at Noble Hierarch. That's been printed at Rare multiple times, and it's still above $50 each. Tarmogoyf could be printed again at Rare, and it's not like it would be worth $20. This worry about the maintenance of value, I understand it, I do. But at the same time, something has to give. At what point do they decide that it's worth it to tank a few staples to make the format more accessible? It's a simple concept. If Wizards of the Coast wants more people to play their game, buy their products, and attend their events, they need to make the game more accessible on all levels. So why did I say all of that? To drill home my main point. In 2017, we need more reprints. We need better reprints, and we need more applicable reprints. We need more reprints more often. Afraid of Liliana of the Veil being too powerful for Standard? Fine. Print Modern Masters 2017, but put it in Target and Walmart, charge $5 a pack, make it accessible. A choice has to be made. Either more players will attend more events because the game is more accessible, or less players will attend less events because the game is less accessible. Direct correlation. And while I understand that Magic is a hobby and not a necessity, if Wizards of the Coast wants more people to attend events, lowering the bar to entry is literally what they have to do to make it happen. That's all I have to say about that. In 2017, as weird as it sounds, Wizards of the Coast has to release fewer products. I know, calm down, let me explain. This past year brought us a ton of new product, most of it amazing. They really knocked it out of the park this year, but that in itself is a bit of a problem. There wasn't enough time to appreciate everything. Do you remember this past summer? Do you remember the preview season for From the Vault lore? It was a trick question, there wasn't one. They released the entire lineup in a single day. We're talking From the Vault lore. There could have been an awesome story-based article revealing one card each day for a couple weeks at least. Because of this, most of you didn't even know lore was releasing. When we made the video, there were more questions about the set itself than its contents. It came out of nowhere mere weeks after Eldritch Moon release and the Pro Tour took place. But From the Vault lore, that wasn't even the biggest victim. Conspiracy Take the Crown, one of the most hyped sets in years, was crammed in at the end of a standard season and released a week before Kaladesh preview season began. Despite the set's genius design, applauded innovation, and spectacular reprint list, we had to move on within 2 weeks. Barely enough time to even get 2 weeks of FNM play out of it, Conspiracy was squeezed from both sides, coming out only a week after From the Vault lore release. What worries me, and many others, is that Wizards will see that Conspiracy Take the Crown didn't garner as much attention as they wanted, and they won't commission a Conspiracy 3. That would be the true nightmare. Because in all honesty, Conspiracy was the best set to come out this year. But something Wizards of the Coast needs to do in 2017? Print less stuff. Give these products some time to breathe. Shadows over Innistrad into Eternal Masters, into Eldritch Moon, into From the Vault lore, into Conspiracy, into Kaladesh? It's too much too quickly. I'm sure there's a market for all of it, but the value on each individual set isn't getting its fair due. Just spread it out a little more, that's it. Bringing new blood into the game is vital for success. You need new players to economically offset older players leaving the game, and you just need new players to grow Magic. In this regard, at least at a basic level, Wizards is doing alright. This year alone, Wizards has sponsored videos by the following YouTubers. Unlisted Leaf, a Pokemon YouTuber with 1.3 million subscribers. Boogie2988, a gaming and comedy channel with almost 4 million subscribers. the Yogscast, a gaming collective with over 7 million subscribers on their main channel alone, and many more. If we're talking outreach, it's clear Wizards knows where the eyeballs are, the internet. So for all intents and purposes, they are doing decently well on this front. Of course, with more digital traffic, you can imagine the want for a digital version of Magic is growing. The problem? Most of these new players are met with either Magic Duels or Magic the Gathering Online as options. Magic Duels is a nice, free introduction to the game, but it's far from perfect, riddled with bugs, and doesn't really capture everything Magic has to offer. It isn't really the full game, which is why you don't see anyone streaming or making videos about it. That leaves players with Magic the Gathering Online. Now, I could make an entire video about Magic Online, I could go on forever, but for the sake of this video I won't. To be frank, Magic Online is suboptimal. It isn't aesthetically pleasing, it's quite expensive for most, it isn't intuitive, user-friendly, or even stable sometimes. Combining the lackluster functionality, the awful user interface, and terrible aesthetic, you can see why Magic Online isn't all that popular on both YouTube and Twitch. So what can Wizards do to make this better in 2017? Tell us more about Magic Digital Next. Revealed at a Hasbro Investor Conference, Magic Digital Next is meant to close the gap between Magic Duels and Magic the Gathering Online. While we know very little, this is supposedly the middle ground between the two games. Apparently they've been working on this for a while now, but if Wizards wants MTG to be taken seriously as an esport, it actually has to be electronic. And Magic Digital Next is the best thing Wizards can do in 2017 to help bring in new players. And by that I mean tell us anything. Release a statement, some screenshots, anything. Because right now, Twitch.tv, the biggest streaming site in the entire world, is hiring a full-time esports program manager for Magic the Gathering content. And if their job is to convince people to watch Magic Online, then we have a problem. The game isn't even compatible with Mac, for goodness sake. In a world where people are being introduced to Magic and Hearthstone at the same time, Magic has to level the digital playing field somehow if it wants to bring in some new blood. The very last thing Wizards needs to work on in 2017, coverage. Cover more events. I know it costs money, I know it isn't easy, but publicity is everything, and if you're going to get paper Magic out there more, coverage is a necessary part of that. The only time Magic the Gathering even gets premier publicity and numbers on Twitch is when a big event is going on. And to Wizards' credit, they do have a solid batch of coverage set up for early 2017. But it's important that continues throughout the year. If there's a Grand Prix somewhere and it's the only big event that weekend, it should be covered without a second thought. So what do you think Wizards needs to do in 2017 to help Magic? I'd love to hear what you have to say, but please be civil in the comments and let me know that way. We'll talk about it. Just remember, we all love this game and want what's best for it, so try not to freak out. We're all here for the same reason. Also, if you enjoyed this type of video, please let me know. We're trying new things every day. As always, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.
Guys, Ness, Magic here, and everybody always asks me, why doesn't Wizards just simply do what everyone's asking? And on certain topics, yes, why don't they just spell check their tweets before they tweet them? Or stop spouting off stupid pro-liberal, crap that has nothing to do with their product or their company? That would be a pretty easy fix. Yes, they probably should do that. It's obviously a management problem. But for the more complex things, like how to design a set, I think I have a little bit of an insight into that. Now, I think everybody's on the same page. Stop printing OP garbage like Siege Rhino, Thoughtseize, Ugin, God, what other cards did everybody hate? Emrakul, that would be on the list. Smuggler's Copter. Everybody loves Smuggler's Copter. They really do need to stop printing that. It's just as simple as that. Just R&D, do your job. Simple. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. I mean, some cards, you look at Emrakul and you're like, that's too powerful, and then it goes into play and it gets in a deck, and it turns out that's too powerful. I mean, Chimpanzee could have caught that. Same with Siege Rhino. Anybody could have looked at Siege Rhino and said that's a mistake. But certain other cards slip through just unexpectedly, it happens, whatever. It could happen a lot less, though. But I think that's where everybody's agreement ends. Well, then again, everybody is in agreement, just not with their own thoughts. Let me give you an example. So you have to think, what does the average, like, I don't know, mid-range player, I guess you could say, what do they want? And I mean, somebody who's been going to FNM regularly and they've been playing for at least like a year, we'll say. So just a typical average person who spends money on the game and plays it a lot. And obviously I'm not referring to the top level pros. They want something completely different, and who cares, because the other 99.9% of people want something different. Usually, not always. They do actually align sometimes. So herein lies the problem. Now put yourself in Wizard's shoes and start, like, you go into a meeting and you say, okay, let's start with what customers want. I don't care whether we can fulfill it or not, let's just make a list of what customers want. Well, I took all the major common complaints that people have had and then, like, inverted them. Because, you know, that should be what people want. And by the way, this does not apply to everybody, just the majority of players. If this doesn't describe you, congratulations, you're a reasonable, logical person. Well, you're watching my channel, so yeah. But the average player wants to just look up one of the top decks and pick one. They don't want to do work, they don't want to think, they don't want to sit there and experiment and waste cards or waste money on cards that don't end up in their final cut of the deck. They just want to be told what to run and then run it so that they have the highest chance of winning. And they want it to be really obvious what the best deck is too. They want it to really stand out, like this is the deck to be playing. But they also don't want any mirror matches. So basically nobody gets to play it but them, and then like nobody else, everybody else can play something lesser. You know, because that's realistic. But like I said, they don't want mirror matches, so they don't want everybody else playing the deck that they're playing, but they want the top level deck to be really obvious. But like only to them, I guess. They also want the cards to be dirt cheap, but then they want them to have a high value when they go to sell them nearing the end of standard. But they want the cards to be cheap in the first place, which would indicate that they're not very valuable in Modern. So they want them to both be valuable in Modern and not valuable in Modern at the same time. So they want to buy the cards low initially and sell them high later on. And then you've got the investors or the hoarders or whatever, you know, small fry ones, not like, we're not talking like Star City Games level here. You know, somebody that just, they put, you know, a couple hundred to a couple grand into the game, and they got, you know, a nice trade binder of full play sets of just really popular mythics from the last 5 years or 10 years. And they got, you know, one sealed box of every set, you know, something like that. So they want enough boxes to go around, they want the local gaming store to never be out, and they want the boxes to be very reasonable, or if they just buy the singles, they want the singles to be low. So they want a really, really high print run. Oh, but they also want a really, really small print run because they want to make the most amount of money in the shortest period of time because they're sitting on the boxes. But since they're also playing Magic instead of just investing in it, they also want, you know, cheap available cards. Those two are complete and utter contradictions. So what the typical player wants is completely contradictory to itself, plus really, really greedy and selfish. So my favorite one is the investors, where they're investors but they're also players, and they want two completely opposite things at the same time. They want like their deck to be cheap so that they can afford to play standard, but they also want the cards to be super valuable right off the bat so that their box is worth a ton. You know, a good starting point tends to indicate an even higher end point 5 years from now. That's not universally true though. So in summary, they want nobody to win but them. They want the net decks but only they can play them. They want high variety but low variety so that they know what to play. They want to always win, and they don't want to think. They're incredibly lazy, and all they want to do is win and get free prizes. Oh, they also want the prizes to be really, really, really good, but they don't want to pay much to enter every week at FNM. Oh, and they also want a highly, highly consistent deck that always works, but doesn't work the same way every time because that's boring. I think that pretty much covers it. There's probably 50 more contradictions, but you guys get it. What people want is just stupid and illogical. It's not even physically possible. And I'm not saying people are like writing into Wizards or commenting on, you know, some things on Reddit, although maybe Reddit. I mean, if there was one place that people were leaving comments like this, it would be Reddit. But, you know, they like subconsciously, if anything, or just really quietly want everything I just said. They're not telling Wizards, I want to go to FNM and be the only one to win, and nobody should win but me, and the cards should be available, but then to everybody else expensive, so nobody gets to play but me, and I get to win, and I'm the greatest. That's basically what people want. Oh, and here's my favorite one, because this one I think we can all identify with. So you got some player named, I don't know, Bobby. Bobby decided that he didn't like the 6-month rotation because he wants to keep his cards longer. So, yay, he complained along with his stupid selfish friends, and now they're back to a 1-year rotation on cards. Fast forward 5 seconds, and Bobby is going from celebrating and being happy with the decision to, oh man, they're gonna keep Smuggler's Copter for an extra 6 months? I can't believe that. Well, Bobby, maybe you shouldn't have whined and complained to Wizards and gotten it changed if you didn't know what the hell you wanted and it was contradictory and you're an idiot. Seriously, the same volume of people, if not literally the same people that were complaining about the 6-month rotation, are now complaining about cards being legal longer. You can't have it both ways, but at the end of the day, they're just selfish and greedy. It's all about them, them, them. If something benefits them, great, because now they can spend less money. Oh, but now everybody else is doing something annoying that they don't like because of it. That's perfectly fair and balanced. Oh, now it's bad, because it's all about them and the whole world revolves around them. Oh, did I mention these people are typically net deckers? Because let me just name a different kind of person. Probably most of you out there watching my channel, but not by any stretch of the imagination the majority of F&M attendees. We like, new ideas. We like, low-powered standard. And that's the other thing. These people want super turbo high-powered standard so that they can run just a crush you deck and have time to run to Burger King in between matches. Oh, but they also don't like other people winning on turn 4. They want like a really low-power standard, but for everybody but them, basically. So people like me, we like, bringing a different deck every week, so the lower the cost of the cards, the better. Yeah, if you open up a box and it has an EV of $60, that kind of sucks. But if you just buy singles, then you win either way, so you just kind of work around that. As a single seller, I bet you can guess what side I'm on. But as a player, you just work around it. You either buy sealed product or you buy singles according to whichever one's the most cost effective. And then, I care if I win. I'm ultra competitive. I go in to win. But I'm not going to copy somebody else's work, copy somebody else's idea, and show up with the same stupid deck that everybody else is running. I'm not going to do that. I am never going to do that. Half the fun in Magic is winning, but half the fun is also coming up with crazy new deck designs that nobody's seen, because that's an accomplishment. As much as I love winning the game, like literally, I also consider it winning the game if I lost the round, but somebody said, wow, that is a killer deck, I can't believe I beat it. In my opinion, in my head, that means I won the game because I designed the best deck. Yeah, I didn't win that one time because maybe your deck is even 5% more powerful, but guess what? That ain't your deck. That's somebody else's deck that you copied. Not everybody enjoys deck building. I get it. I'm way into math. I'm way into probability. I'm way into problem solving and puzzles. Totally not everybody's into that. I get it. But the type of people who are typically super selfish about all this are the net deckers, the people who just, they show up to win, no fun allowed, everything needs